Today what we're going to do is discuss first, before we take our homework and go over, we're going to discuss the 5-number summary related to the data display box and whisker plot. And the definition of a box and whisker plot is simply a graphical representation of the 5-number summary of a data set. And so we're going to review one more time on the next page on how to create a box and whisker plot. And you are going to get a partner, and it may be 3 of you since we have an odd number of people today, and you're going to complete on the next page, page 14, okay? You're going to complete that 5-number summary and create a box plot on that scale, and I'm going to move to the next page quick. You're going to create a scale to create that box plot. So you're going to take the data and you're going to organize it like you do normally for the 5-number summary, okay? And I'm going to pull the shade down because I don't want you guys to see that yet. I want for you to take that data with your partner, organize it from least to greatest, answer those questions, and complete drawing the box and whisker plot using what I just shared with you about the 5-number summary. All right, and we'll wait for a second while you do that. What do you need? Okay, well, do your thing. I'll give you about 4 minutes, 5 minutes at the most to get it done before we start talking about it. So do your own work there. You may work with a partner as you assemble that information. Okay, let's try this with volume now. Again, we said the minimum value is 0, median value is 16, the maximum value is 30. The quartiles, quartile 1 is 11, quartile 3 is 20. All right, now, when I go to create the box and whisker plot, all right, it's necessary to draw your box plot on a scale. If that scale is not underneath your box plot, your box plot is worthless. It's of no value. It will not show the display or the spread of the data at all if you do not have a scale. Now, what are we counting by? What is our scale here on this particular grid? Yes. We're counting by 2s, right? Starting at 0 all the way through 30. So our scale is 2, all right? And so, again, the minimum value is marked with a vertical mark. Quartile 1 is marked with a vertical mark. The median is marked with a vertical mark. Quartile 3 is marked with a vertical mark. And then, obviously, the maximum is marked with a vertical mark. Okay, so step 1, we did that. Step 2, we have to identify if there are any outliers. Okay, so again, I'm going to review this process because I asked you guys to kind of do the same thing on your homework for last night. Well, it's to identify if there were any outliers, okay? And so we want to review that one more time. When you're creating that, the IQR, okay, I took 20, quartile 3, minus 11, quartile 1, I got 9. So 1.5 times 9 comes out to be 13.5. Now I'll use that 13.5 in the following two ways. Quartile 3 plus 13.5, we arrive at 33.5. So do we have any data entry that's bigger than 33.5? No, we don't. All right, let's take and go on the low side. Quartile 1 minus 13.5 gives me a negative 2.5. Do we have any data smaller than negative 2.5? No. Okay, and so therefore there are no outliers. And they were asking us not to connect the whiskers to the outliers. All right, so if we'd had an outlier, then we would have drawn our whisker to the last data item, data entry in the set, and left out that number that was an outlier. Does that make sense? So that's a box plot. It relies upon the 5-number summary to be able to create it. All right, so you have to create the 5-number summary first to draw the box and whisker plot. Now, your assignment for tomorrow, all right, and we're not going to work on this right now, but your assignment for tomorrow is to take your height, your 10-step data, and your wingspan data and draw a box and whisker plot over those three categories, okay? So we want to take a look at that. I'm going to stop now and transition back to a piece of technology to process your data, okay? And we're going to participate in this activity here by using the TI Inspire, our new calculator here. And I've already listed this, but this was a previous class's data. So I'm going to take this data, and I'm going to scroll up here and go across, and I'm going to delete that data, okay, using our calculator. Dimension error, not enough elements in the list, okay. All right, so it eliminated it. Fantastic, love it. Okay, and I'm going to start here. Now I'm going to ask for a volunteer, and let me explain again what I'm going to try and do. Take your data sheet, take out your spreadsheets from yesterday, and for you guys, we modified our spreadsheet since there's only 6 people in this class, so that we had a little bit larger sample size, so we had a few more numbers to process. We added, what class did we add to your data set? We added some sophomore data to your class. Was it second period did we add to it? Okay. And so I'm going to have one of you who are brave and willing to volunteer to come up and do the data entry for height. Okay, Brittany, thank you. Come on up, and if you would, let's enter those numbers for height in there in the spreadsheet, and then we will process that. Now, while she's doing that, you guys just verify that she's entering the right numbers, okay? And then when we get done, when we do the analysis, all right, we get the 5-number summary from the machine. I want you to compare it to your 5-number summaries and see how close you were, if you got them all correct or if you missed some aspect of it. And then I want you to change to the correct answers that we have listed up here on the screen in the spreadsheet. Is she listing the height data? Well, she can't do those until she enters the spreadsheet. I'm sure she did. Okay, so yes, we have our 15 items of the data there. Okay, Brittany, I'm going to let you run through the rest of it. Let's go to menu. Can you press menu?
That is Megan.
Oh, sorry, Megan. Press menu on the keypad. It's right underneath doc. There you go. And then press 4. That's statistics. Tell it stat calculations 1. Press that. 1 variable stats. That's what we're going to do next. Good. And then we have one list we're interested in at the moment. Click OK. Now, our data is in a named list, so go over there and press the right arrow. Very good. Height is what we want. Okay, good. And we want the results. Since there's 3 lists, that's going to occupy A, B, and C. So select D. Go up where it says result column, right at the bottom rectangle, right there. Okay, backspace and put D in there. Thank you. Yep, click OK. That's good. We don't care about that. Okay, so put our data in D. Now scroll up to the top Or, yep, right there. Thank you. Well, okay, you guys can write down the mean. That piece of data was not required for the 5-number summary. But the nice thing about this calculator in the software, it calculates it very quickly for you so we can process it. So record your mean somewhere with that 5-number summary. Put that off to the side of it so you have it. X bar represents the mean. X bar represents the mean. And that's just the symbol for the mean. Okay, so that's 65.83. All right. And I went too far. Let's back up just a second. Let's get the 5-number summary listed. There you go. There's your 5-number summary. So let's compare. Look at what you did for homework, all right, and check and see if you got all 5 correct. Check and see if you got all 5 correct. The min should have been 61. Quartile 1 was 63. The median is 66. Okay. Quartile 3 is 69. And the maximum value is 71. So again, min is 61. Quartile 1 is 63. The median is 66. Quartile 3 is 69. And the max is 71. Did any one of you get all 5 correct? Okay. Anybody get 4 correct out of the 5? 3 correct out of the 5. All right. 2 correct out of the 5. 1 correct out of the 5. Okay. Nice job. All right. Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am. Can't find yours. Record this then. Record all 5 statistics there on that 5-number summary, because your assignment today is going to be able to make a box plot on these 3 categories individually. Question? All right. Okay. So now I need a volunteer to come back and do the 10 steps. So once Tabitha's got that written down, all right, thank you. Come on up and you can write that. Thank you. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to have to fill it out after I look and see. I have to print off some stuff. He can't use some of the stuff, so I'll make some notes on there. I'm making a video right now, so. Oh, all right. You're on camera. She's getting an earful. 10 steps, yes. List your data. Now, hopefully you're noticing, I know it's kind of a pain in the neck to get the data entered using the handheld there on the screen, but the nice thing about this is a couple button pushes and it does the 5-number summary all at once, so you're less likely to make a mistake. There's less interaction with you. Okay, so Devin will get this entered. Yeah, then I'll put this video posted on my website for anyone absent to watch today. Yes. Check his numbers. Make sure he's entering the data for our class. You're doing a nice job, Devin. A lot of students have difficulty getting the proper key stroked to, and then therefore they have to do a lot of entry. Okay, now hang on. All right, so you got your 10 steps. Now, what are we going to do? That's all in feet. So we want to go and do our stat calculation. So menu, all right, 4, stat calculations, 1 variable statistics. All right, now hang on. Is it right? Yes, we were in, okay, so just 10 steps. He's so quick. And yeah, that has to be what? D. We want our output in D. So back up and type D. Okay, great. And scroll up so we can get our 5-number summary. Just a little, whoa, right there, you got it. Nice job. There is your 5-number summary. So I want you to compare to what you had on your homework. And if you didn't have it, please record that 5-number summary. So the max is 20.8. Quartile 3 is 17.75. Your median was 15. Quartile 1 was 13.2. And the minimum value was 5.92. Okay? So that's what you should have had for your data set from yesterday. Right now, in addition to drawing the box plots, I want you to also calculate for outliers. All right, so this calculator would basically allow you to look at the outliers from the graph. Okay, if we went ahead and did a graph, but we're not going to do the graph. That's for you to do on your homework. So you're going to calculate the outliers yourself. So I'll leave that. Okay, wingspan. We need to come up with the 5-number summary for the wingspan. Okay, Shauna, thank you. $20.8. For which one? Okay, hang on. Yeah, it's 15 point something, isn't it? Thank you for saying something. Let's go over a little bit. I'll see if I can stretch this. There we go. You know what? It doesn't seem to stretch out. It's 15.0 apparently. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Fine. Well, I've already shared what your homework is. Your homework is basically drawing a box and whisker plot for each of those 3 categories, and then also identifying what the box and whisker plot, or what the outliers are for each of those data sets. Well, after we get our official data, sure. But you're not going to have time to do that, though, in class. I'm going to direct you to something else here in a second. Okay, good. Yep, you're good. The D is already set for you. It's got smart on you. Good. All right, and okay. All right, now you got to scroll up so we can get our 5-number summary from this set. Okay, too far. Scroll down just a little bit more, a little bit. Right, one more, right there. Good. There's your 5-number summary. Okay, starting with where it's selected. 71 was the max. Okay, 67.5 is quartile 3. Okay, median is 64. And quartile 1 is 60. And the min is 47. So that's the correct 5-number summary for what we're talking about there. Okay. So you're bringing, well, hang on. What this happens then, who entered wingspan data? Okay, so we've identified that, hey, there's a mistake somewhere. Let's go back and look at the numbers in the data set and see what happened. Okay, wingspan. Oh, this is the very first one, 67? You know what? I think looking at her data set, I think I see what happened. Her 6 looks like a 4. Is that correct now? And thank you for identifying that. So that's 67. All right, let's check the next one. Is it 63? Okay, now this is the only part that's kind of tricky when you're using the software, is to make sure that you're entering the data correctly. Okay, 67.5, 64, 53, 58. Hang on, I must have jumped one. 60, how about that? 53, then 60, then 58, then 67, then 66, 70, 71. Okay, so 61. Okay, so we have to correct this here just a little bit. That's not a problem because this is a typical kind of mistake on data entry. Okay, so 60, 61, then what? Okay, and then what? Okay, 70, 71, and the last one was? Okay. So, all right, so we're going to go back up here. Let's see if that changed our data. Okay, so we need to rerun that data, don't we? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go to D, and actually I'm going to stay here on C. I'm going to go back to menu. I'm going to rerun that data, statistics, stat calculations. See, now the great thing is you make a mistake, you don't have to go back and do all the calculations. All you got to go back and do is edit the list and then tell it to redo the calculations. So that makes your life easier. Okay, C, category for the result is D. All right, okay. Okay, and let's check and see if it, did we have a 53 anywhere in our data set? We did. Okay, so does that match everybody now? 53 is the min. Okay, the quartile 1 is 60.5. Median 64. Quartile 3 is 67.25. And the max is 70. Well, no, obviously it's not connected to this. Computer's connected to this, so you can't touch this to get it to, anyway. All right, so now we have our 5-number summaries corrected or identified with the calculator. So we have the correct numbers and we all agree. All right, now your assignment for tomorrow, and let's highlight this one more time, is to draw the box plots based on those 5-number summaries. All right, but before you draw the box plot, identify if there are any outliers within that data set. Any outliers within that data set of each of those 3 categories. All right? Okay. So you guys can work on that. Now, that's not the only thing that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to move away from this. You have your homework there. We're going to go and practice some more box plot work by looking at a website that I located for you guys. And it's called Interactive Box Plots on this website. It's called shoulder.org. And it has some activities here, box plotters. And it allows you to, I'll move this out of my way here. The representing data you can just put into your folder, sure. I'm going to distribute the exploration questions, and we're going to go through a few of those together. And then we're going to let you guys have some time for your homework. Okay. Take a look at these box plot exploration questions. All right. We're going to use this interactive website to collect some answers for these questions here and make sure you guys can actually pull data from a box plot. Okay, because in addition to your assignment there, you guys are creating box plots, but I'm going to also try and get you to collect some data from box plots, and so that's the purpose of looking at our interactive website here. It's called www.shoulder.org, and you can look at that up here. That's your website. Okay, now, as you look at this, the box plots are drawn, and we're talking about gas mileage by car size. All right, but there are other data sets that are preloaded in there. All right, there's a data set about amount of dollars spent per student, 2004 college ACT scores. They have body fat percentages, and one I don't want to talk about. The horsepower of cars, I'd love to look at that. And then you have a My Data section, and it looks like an NBA team payrolls in '04 and '05. Now, the one you guys have to answer some questions about, though, relates to the gas mileage by car size. So I'm going to select that. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can look at this and view these statistics. They're comparing three categories of car size. Compact cars, okay, that's the blue one. Mid-size cars, that's the red one. And then SUVs, which is the green one. Now, before we talk too much about these, a compact car is like what? Give me a size. Okay, a Geo. It's small, right? Very small. So it sacrifices usually the looks, the horsepower, and you've got something that's very small, possibly, yeah, 3 cylinders, 4 cylinders. Maybe it's partially electric or all electric. Well, if it was all electric, I guess there wouldn't be any gas mileage. They wouldn't have to worry about gas. So it's partially electric, maybe. The mid-size, okay, think about mid-size cars. The mid-size cars would be usually like what? Okay, that might, yeah, it can fall into that. I was thinking more like four-door sedans, like your Impala, your Malibu. I don't know a lot of the Chrysler products, but those Chevy products I would think would fall into that category. And then an SUV. You guys know what an SUV is? Yep. Okay, that Cadillac Escalade out there would be an example of an SUV. All right. Now, just an overall assumption before we start looking at the statistics. What would you guys assume would have the worst fuel economy here? Without even looking at the data, knowing what you know about vehicles, Megan? Yeah, the bigger vehicles you would assume would have poorer fuel economy. All right, so now you guys need to make sure that you process this chart right, though. All right, this is demonstrator showing fuel economy. So as I go out on the scale further, what is that indicating? Let's make sure that we can process this. So if I pick a point out here, and we just want to roughly estimate that, what would that be approximately right there? If I take and circle that, all right, that represents what? Megan? 47 approximately, a little over 47 miles per gallon. Okay, is that good or bad? Okay, that's good, right? The higher the miles per gallon means the further you can travel on 1 gallon of gas. All right. Okay. If you look down here at the red one, all right, the mid-size, approximately what kind of mileage are we getting there? Yeah, about 25, a little less than 25 miles per gallon, actually. All right. And of course, that's in that data set, that was the maximum. Quite a bit less. The best I got traveling out on the freeway to North Carolina was like 23.6. When I'm town driving, about anywhere from 16 to 19, depending on how I'm driving in town. If it's aggressive driving, stoplight to stoplight, then you're talking about 13, 14. But anyway, so I think you guys are understanding how to read this. Now, let me show you some other things. If I lump all the vehicles together, look up here, please. If I just push this here, graph all data. Oh, I got to close my ink layer. Okay. If I graph all data, it turns it into one box plot. Does that make sense? If I want to look at the cars by individual category, compact, midsize, and SUV, then I select that category. If I want to know the individual statistics, I just select Show Statistics. Okay? And then I can see what the statistics are, the 5-number summaries for each individual category of car. Does that make sense? So to answer some of these questions, you're going to have to refer to the statistics instead of the box plots, because you can't actually see the actual numbers for min and quartile 1. You have to go to the Show Statistics. Let me do that again. Show Statistics to see the actual min for compact. What was the minimum fuel economy for the compact? Yep, 18 miles per gallon. What was the maximum? 48 miles per gallon. Okay. Now, did all the cars in that survey get 48 miles to the gallon? No, there was only one car in that set that got that.
How come SUV is more than midsize at max?
Okay, good. Good. You know what? That was an interesting question. Excellent question. And this is what happens when you start talking about statistics. You find interesting things because our initial assumption when I asked you a minute ago about this, which one do you guys think would have the least or the poorest fuel economy? You guys said instantly what? SUV, because we thought of the Cadillac Escalade out there. It's big. It's like a truck. It's four-wheel drive. Has a big motor. However, if you've noticed, okay, the what will I say? Governmental standards on fuel economy have been, I think, implemented on SUVs, and SUVs are expected to have a better fuel economy. Okay, but the other thing is that white Escalade out there. How many of those do you see like that size?
No.
Not a lot. More of the SUVs these days are small. Okay, and they're running the smaller SUVs, even though they have maybe four-wheel drive or a small cargo compartment, are built much smaller. They have smaller engines, and so that might attribute to that fact. But he's making a great observation. Hey, how can a mid-sized car be getting less than a SUV? However, if you take a station wagon and you turn it into a four-wheel drive vehicle, a small compact station wagon, I think that's somewhat what they're calling an SUV here, maybe. So it'd be interesting to see what brands of SUVs they actually included in this data set. So that makes for an interesting comparison. I'm not going to talk any more about that. You guys have to respond to some prompts here, 4 of them. So I want you to get with a partner or fill it out yourself and then get with a partner and see what they had, and then we'll discuss those questions. You can come up here and use the chart as you wish. I'll leave this up, and when you're ready for the graph all data on one box plot, you can come up and select that icon. All right, so I'll let you look at the questions, and I want you to attempt to try and answer those questions as best you can. Number 3. Okay, so turn that into what our graph shows. What does our graph show? Graph shows the miles per gallon. So you're going to have to interpret how to read that to answer that question. All right, so on number 3 it says which type of car uses the most fuel. So which one had the worst fuel economy? Mm-hmm. The least amount of fuel means it had the best fuel economy. It's an interesting question. Put down what you think, how you'd answer that. Yeah. Okay, so let's take the first question on our exploration question page here. It says approximately what was the median gas mileage for these cars? Okay, so I'm going to have to go to show statistics, right? All right, so what was the median for the compact? 24.5. Midsize was 19, okay, and then the SUV was 20. So those are the 3 answers, 24.5, 19, and 20. So you see how you record the data using Schroeder's box plotter. So you can go to show statistics, all right, and that'll actually show you the 5-number summary, which you can collect the data from. All right. All right. I'm going to have to stop here because we're out of time for class. So we'll address questions 2, 3, and 4 tomorrow on the website. All right. What's your assignment for tomorrow? Calculate the box or draw the box plots for height, 10-step, and wingspan data, and also determine if there are any outliers in all 3 of those categories.